guess, where we are.
Are you walking into construction?
In my Crocs. The island's a little shorter, but that's okay. Look, already.
This is nicer in here, although kind of weird.
Yeah, but we can put other shelves up. Ooh, look, they scratched all this up because it didn't fit. Yikes. He's still using that same builder who messes everything up for him. Room's the same size.
Yeah.
A little rain shower. I was just thinking at the other house, I never took a shower in this bathroom.
Remember how terrible the shower was in the last house though?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I just walked over there and I said, what the hell is this? And I said, let me go see it immediately. So that's where we are. They did different cabinets in here. I like this kitchen a lot more.
Couple upgrades. You like it? You're happy?
I'll be so happy. I'll cry if we can move back in here. Won't you?
Yeah.
Or you don't care? So bright and nice. Oh my god, I could just imagine the AC. And all of our furniture already goes in here. We don't need to like...
You think the green goes with the brown?
Yeah.
So it's annoying we sold some of our stuff.
We only sold the mirror.
And the table.
What table?
The coffee table.
We didn't sell that.
Oh, yeah, we did.
What do you think is sitting in front of our couch right now?
Nothing, right? I swear we sold that square table. Did I not move that out of the house?
No. I sold 2 mirrors. I sold the anthropology mirror that was in our bedroom, and I sold the wavy mirror.
You about to sell that or something?
I put it up for sale, but someone messaged me and said, will you take $50? I'm like, this is a Jonathan Adler. So that last clip you saw was months ago. That was like in September, and it's now the middle of November, and here we are. Finally in this house. It's been literally the worst. It's been crazy. So I'm sitting down. I brought a chair into my bathroom and I'm gonna do my hair and tell you about it. Basically, I don't know how much I talked about before, but our landlord at our other house, the 70s house that we were actually gonna buy and renovate, but he wanted to sell it sooner than we wanted to buy it. Like, it's not a good time to buy right now. And things just like weren't going well over there. Like, I was not feeling that house. I just felt it had like some weird dark energy there. I just was not vibing over there. So we kind of decided that we weren't gonna buy it anymore after not being there for very long. And anyway, he wanted to sell it soon this year. So we were like, okay, fine, we'll move. That was fine for us because I didn't want to be there anyways. Just had like a dark year. It's been a bad year for me. And I'm just ready to like not be in a bad year anymore. And so we're like, okay, we'll move, have a fresh start. I've moved my whole life, so like moving to me is no big deal. I'm like, yeah, let's move. It's always chaotic, but I'm just used to it. Something that I had been thinking about while we lived in this house was, why did we leave the other house? I really missed it. I just really liked that house. It had so many issues too. Like, if you've been following for a long time, you remember the flood where we lost literally everything. And we don't really like the landlords. They're investors from Canada. They do not give a shit about anyone who rents from them. They're like money hungry and just like, they're gross. And so like when we left the other house, we had like a bad experience. They didn't even want to give us our deposit back when there was no issue with anything. We left the house perfect, and good thing we took like videos and pictures and ended up getting everything back, because what were they gonna do? But I was having such a bad, I don't know, I was just missing that house and being like, why did we move? Like, I don't even remember why we decided to move. I think we just wanted to try to buy something and renovate it and feel like we had our own house that we owned. And now I don't care about that. But I think that's the reason that we decided, like, yeah, let's move. This cool house popped up. Oh, also the landlords were gonna raise the rent like really crazy. And it was just like, why stay? Anyway, in a moment of desperation, I'm looking for houses to rent when our landlord told us he wants to sell it, and there's nothing there's nothing. Nothing in our price range that is our style, or I just wanted to feel like home again, and I felt like I didn't feel at home for half the year. And so I'm looking at houses and I'm like, I can't picture us living here. And so in a moment of absolute desperation, I text our old landlord like, hi, any chance you have any new homes coming up? Because they build pretty like poorly built homes all around the desert. And so I figured they would have something coming up. And to my surprise, he's like, yeah, we actually have one coming up right when you need it. And it's pretty much the same house that we lived in before. I'm like, perfect, because at this point I'll do anything to move back into our old house. I missed it so much. Like the natural light in the house, just feeling like, I don't know, maybe I don't do well with like homes that don't have good natural light. The 70s house was so dark and dingy. We go and look at the house, which is the clip you saw, and I'm like, I'll do anything to live here. I want to live back in this house. The landlord's like, yeah, you guys are approved. Don't need an application, nothing, just like, we'll send you the lease and you can pay the deposit. I'm like, cool. So we do that, pay the deposit, sign the lease. We're ready to move in for October 1st. And we had signed this lease, like, I don't remember if it was early September or like the end of August. We signed it like a long time before we were gonna move in. We had come to the house, and in that video clip you could see there's like no driveway, they hadn't poured the cement yet. There's just a lot that wasn't done, and we're familiar with this builder and his vendors because we had the flood at the old house and we had a lot of problems with the old house. And so we don't like this builder. And we know he's just, so you get what you pay for, and this builder is definitely like a cut corners, pay people under the table kind of a guy. I've gotten into like a verbal argument with this builder at the last house. So at this point, when we came here, I'm like, I don't want to see this guy. I really don't want to see this guy. We got here and there were issues, so we had to send like a list of what was going on that the landlords requested. And at this point, it's like the first week of September, and I'm thinking like back to our last move. When we moved into the last house, we were moving from LA, so we had our truck booked with all of our things, and we're like on the way to the house, and they're like, oh yeah, there's no electricity and the house hasn't passed its occupancy certificate inspection by the city yet, so you actually can't move in. And so we had to like put all of our things in the garage and in the house at nighttime with no electricity, so no lights. It's pitch black. It was a mess. We ended up staying in a hotel for a couple weeks, got to move in finally, and the first night we moved in, the entire house flooded overnight. All the boxes on the floor, all the furniture, everything ruined. So I start thinking like, oh, could that happen again? Because it's the same builder, it's the same plumber who did like, it was a plumber's error why we had the flood. And so I'm just starting to kind of like have a little bit of fear. And I text the landlord being like, hey, is there any chance that anything goes wrong again? Like we can't move in on the right time, or, you know, anything that we should be concerned about or prepare for? And he's like, no, everything's looking good. I'm like, okay, cool. I texted him that like a month before we're supposed to move in. So over the weeks, we're driving by the house, the concrete still isn't poured, I'm getting anxious, things in the house that were supposed to be done haven't been done, and it rolls around to the weekend we're supposed to move in. No occupancy certificate. The house is not passed. They didn't get permits for the solar panels, amateur hour. Like they installed the solar panels without getting a permit for them first. So I don't even know how that happens. And just so much, like I could spend an hour talking about all the things that were wrong and why it couldn't pass. So we end up not being able to be here. So we have to figure out where we're gonna stay, what are we gonna do with the dogs? And these landlords were like, oh, you can stay at our other property and you could just pay us like $100 a night, which I'm like, that's weird. This is your problem. We shouldn't have to pay you, but whatever. And so Jace tries to go over to this house to like look at it because there's just a lot going on at this time, but he goes over to look at the house and it's like not a comparable accommodation. It's like on some weird golf course and there's no like yard, so the dogs couldn't have stayed there. It was just, it wasn't gonna work. So I texted him like, hey, also the people at the front gate were like, hey, this isn't a short-term rental, like you're not allowed to be here. And we're like, you know? And the gate didn't want to let us in, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work. I'm not gonna be arguing with people at a gate every day to let me into, you know, it was just like uncomfortable. And at this point, I'm supposed to be moving into my new house and feeling comfortable and having all my things. We decide that we don't want to do that, and we tell them, and they're like, okay, whatever, stay wherever you want. And I'm thinking, okay, cool, they're gonna reimburse us. Obviously they don't, but we go through the whole month of October pretty much without being able to access our things. The house hasn't been finalized yet, and the landlords are just being complete, what's the word, assholes? They just have like no regard for their tenants. It's so much. So anyways, we end up having to spend a bunch of money because obviously we don't have anywhere to stay, and I just burnt myself. Don't have anywhere to stay. All of our food is like, you know, we have to buy food out every single day. The dogs, like, if we had to board them, like, it was just adding up to be so much money. And it's been like 3.5 weeks at this point, and we're like so pissed, right? So pissed. And we finally get to move in. So we end up moving in a couple days after they get the occupancy certificate. I send them an email after we've gotten kind of settled. I mean, we're not even settled right now, but once we've got in the house. So I sent them an email and was like, hey, here's all of our expenses for, you know, the time we couldn't occupy the home, and we had already signed the lease, so you guys are in breach of contract. And luckily my mom's been a property manager in California pretty much my whole life, so like I know a lot about the laws and like what a landlord and tenant relationship and like what am I trying to say? Whatever. So they email back and they're like, no, we're not paying for this. And I'm like, but yeah, you are. So the amount that it came out to that we had to spend was so insane. And I'm like, look, just give us like a couple months of not paying rent. Like, you don't have to give us cash, just take it off the rent. And they're still saying no. Like, to this day, we've gone back and forth. I've been on the phone with them. The guy has come to the house and met with me, saw all the shit that's wrong with the house, and is still like, yeah, no big deal. He was like, how about we offer to put extra shelves in your pantry? And that will be like, you know, that'll account for the money that had to be spent for not having a place to stay. Because also you have to remember, in the town we live in, there's events happening all the time. We had Power Trip in town, which is like it's like the Coachella of metal music. And so hotel rooms were like $700 a night that weekend. And that's the same weekend that we had to like find a place to stay. Like, that is not my problem. You should have had the house ready, or else you shouldn't have signed the lease. Now lawyers are involved, and I just got another email from them yesterday being like, yeah, we've talked it over again, and it's just like, we're willing to offer you the cost of the shelves in the pantry. It's just actually insane behavior. So I don't know like what's gonna happen, if we're even gonna stay here, because now our options are, because they breached the lease, we can technically break the lease and move. So that's an option. The other option is we take them to court and they end up having to pay us for everything that we had to spend because they breached the lease, the contract. So it's just a mess. No one wants to deal with all that, and like I've tried to be nice and handle this over the phone with them and like in person, and they don't care. They're so wealthy and like rich guys from Vancouver. They own over 50 properties in town, and I'm sure they screw every single one of their tenants over. I'm about to drive to our old house and knock on the door and be like, do you have any problems with them? Do you want to sue them? Because we have to sue them. Not to like start an issue, but I just know how they treated us at this house and the last one, that I'm sure their other tenants are experiencing the same bullshit. So dealing with that, it's not been fun. But the rest of the time I've been working with my mom a little bit. She works for a doctor in town, just kind of like personal assistant vibe. He has a rental in Big Bear, like an Airbnb, and her and I were tasked with kind of not renovating, but like redecorating, painting and things like that. So we've been working on that for the last couple weeks. I'll post a link when it's done, in case anyone wants to go to Big Bear for the holidays. So that's the update on the house. Kind of a shit show, complete disaster I like haven't done my hair and makeup either in weeks. I just have not been in the mood. None of my stuff is unpacked. I don't know where any of my makeup is besides like what I packed for when we were young in Vegas, which, oh my gosh, I almost died. It was way too hot. There were so many people there this year. It was insane. I just haven't been vlogging because it's been too much going on, and I've just been going through a weird period in life where I'm like, what am I doing with life? Do I want to be online? Do I want to do something different? And I've kind of come to the conclusion that I love vlogging. I love looking back on everything, like all the videos, Instagram, and just doing creative stuff. I love doing that, so I don't want to stop doing it, but I feel like there's a shift coming. Why do I sound so Gen Z when I talk sometimes? Sometimes I'm editing these videos and I'm like, can you shut up? We finally decorated for Christmas. Can this zoom out? We brought the Christmas tree in. Listen to this, okay? We had all of the Christmas stuff organized at the 70s house, and so it was all in this one spot, and then when we moved, the movers kind of just put stuff wherever. And so we were out in the garage, which is packed with bins and things right now that we need to unpack and go through. And Jace, bless his soul, he found everything, but it took like 4 or 5 days to find everything. We'd be like unpacking and I'd be like, wait, where are the lights for the tree? We can't find them. They're missing. Anyway, we finally got the tree up. I'm going to show it to you. And there's still so much to do. I would give you a house tour, but it's disgusting right now. This house is really similar to the last one. You'll recognize probably everything. The main difference is, well, you already saw it. I gave you a tour already. I forgot that I had that video. The kitchen's different. But let's go look at the tree. This Christmas tree is my favorite part of Christmas. Here she is. Every ornament has like its own meaning to us. Like this one, we got the year that we were watching Manifest. You know, in Manifest, they're always like, it's all connected. If you haven't seen the show, there's like always this whisper of them saying it's all connected. And so me and Jace would randomly like look at each other and be like, it's all connected. And we were shopping one day and we came across this airplane ornament and we were like, it's all connected. So we need to paint like Flight 828 on the side of it, but we think that's hilarious. I have this takeout box because, well, there's 2 reasons for this. One, when I was really sick, I used to only be able to eat rice with soy sauce and sweet and sour sauce, so I would order it from a place down the street. And then also during COVID, I swear I single-handedly kept this Thai restaurant open in LA because I would order curry like every day. So that's the meaning of this guy. Obviously we have all the little Rudolph guys. This is from the land of misfit toys. I don't even remember his name. It must just be Frosty. Of course, Yukon Cornelius. We've got the Holiday Helper, which is my Lexapro. Here's Ozzy. Here's our Vegas setup. We were supposed to get married in this car and it rained outside, so they didn't let us use it. And then the little dice for Vegas. What else? I got this one because it reminded me of Glamour Kills. Do you guys remember? We got this one this year because this whole year, Jace and I haven't been able to find our IDs, so we've had to use our passports for a year. I'm sure there's more, but we'll do an ornament tour at a later day. I'm feeling so lazy, but there's so much to do. Like, things aren't unpacked. Lenny's here. Lenny's here. So, what do I need to do today? I was gonna clean the floors, but I just don't want to. Hello, Lenny. Oh, look at this. This is another thing the builder and the electrician did. Please look at this. So when you see a fireplace where your TV is supposed to go, what are you supposed to think? Also, when you see that your internet cable, oh, you can't see it now because we already had our electrician come and change it. Where that's hanging, that's for our TV. That used to be where the internet cables were coming out, and they were just like sitting over here with cords, and you couldn't hang your TV because it's not flush against the wall. And Jace, so we had our electrician come and he fixed it for us. Now we can hang the TV, so Jace went to hang it, and I'm sitting on the couch looking over here, and my neck, can you even tell like how high this is off the ground? My neck, when he's like putting the TV up so I can like see if it feels right, my neck's like this. I'm like watching TV like this because it's so high on the wall because they put the fireplace. Like if I were to move over there and sit in front of that fireplace right now, the fireplace bottom is like eye level. So it's like up here. I'm like, hello, have you ever sat next to a fireplace? You know, even our last house, it was up higher than it should be, but it wasn't this high. I'm just like, what is going on? And it's just been thing after thing, like feeling a little spicy and like attitude today because talking about them just gets me so mad. And I just don't understand people that are wealthy that screw people over who are not wealthy. Like they're taking advantage of middle class people, which is the worst kind of human you can be. I'm not gonna go off. I'll save it. I want to finish decorating for Christmas. I have all these shelves I need to finish putting stuff on. I need to do the floors. There's just so much to do. You guys miss me, by the way? And my ranting and complaining, I'm sure. What else is there to update you on? My mom's moving back in. She's moving in next week. I've been spending my free time lately making Amazon lists because I'm fully obsessed with the Amazon list now. You can have like a storefront. My video just stopped recording because it said I've been recording for too long. So that's when you know I need to shut up. But anyways, as I was saying, the Amazon storefront page is so fun. I've had one for a long time, but I kind of like don't update it. And then the other day I was like, I want to make a Christmas like gift guide because every one that I look at is the same thing. It's like slippers, a robe, wine glasses, a book. And like, yeah, those things are nice, but like, where's the good stuff? Where's like the quirky, like you unwrap it and you're like, who thought to buy someone this? That's my gift guide. I've got stuff for pickle girls. I've got stuff for weird guys like Jace. There's a Oscar Mayer hot dog machine that like rolls the hot dogs on top but also cooks the buns at the same time. Jace would love that. That's on the gift guide. And just so much fun stuff. So that's my gift guide and I'm adding to it like every couple days because I just think of something and I'm like, gift guide. I also have other lists on there that are like nostalgic Christmas because I'm so tired of Crate and Barrel Christmas. Everything is so minimal and boring to me. If that's your style, I'm sorry. To each their own. My style is very chaotic and colorful and that's just what brings me happiness. And every single person I see that's decorating for Christmas is like Crate and Barrel. And I'm like, where's like the vintage nostalgic Christmas? Where's the tinsel tree with the fun ornaments? It's in my house. And I'm still gonna add bows to this tree too. And I've got all my bottle trees over here with the Connect 4. So yeah, there's a nostalgic Christmas storefront list as well in case you are also tired of Crate and Barrel Christmas. Then I just have like regular house stuff. All my filming stuff that I have, my cameras, like all my kitchen equipment and things like that. And that's what I've been doing. I got these ribbons from Anthropologie. Woo! I almost passed out. It's a bad POTS day. I stood up too fast. I got the... Hello? I need to stop filming already. I got these from Anthropologie. And I got 4 colors. I got that one. I got blue. This like pinky purple color. And then this pink. And I'm going to put bows on the tree. Because I want bows everywhere. Bows everywhere in life. The kitchen is like barely set up. It's kind of a mess. I have put some cookbooks here. I got this for Jace for Christmas, but I gave it to him already. This one because I am determined to make a good pasta this year, and I found this on Amazon. And then I got this at Target, Half Baked Harvest, but I was on TikTok last night, as we all are, and I found out that the girl from Half Baked Harvest has like some weird backstory that seems like maybe a lot of these recipes are not hers. I don't know for sure. That's just what the TikTok was saying, and you probably shouldn't believe everything a TikTok says, but now I'm like, did I support someone who stole someone else's work after what happened to me? I also ordered this on Amazon. Pastry flour. I'm trying to not eat the flour that's made in America if I can, if I have anything to say about it, because it's so bad. This salt jar, and I put flaky salt in it. I have to add salt to absolutely everything that I eat because I have POTS, and I'll just like walk by and like grab a little bit of salt and eat it. I'm also mentally ill. There's not too much to show. Our pantry's kind of a mess. Actually, it's kind of organized. But see, these shelves weren't here. My dad put in these shelves. All we had were the shelves down here. And it was like, why would you have this big pantry and only put in 4 tiny shelves in the back? So my dad put in these that are like, you know what? I'll stop talking about the house. I'm gonna get to cleaning. I'm gonna put bows on the tree and then I'll show it to you. And then we'll see what I get up to later. Okay, bye.
It's a pop punk Christmas.